It's your sleepless god here that's been missing for like 3 days. No, but what's been happening is my thing that I record the videos on hasn't been working for a couple days. So I was like, fuck. I fixed it. I'm back on. Let's do this. So when we left off here, let's do a little recap. We figured out our story base, our character, Madres' brother, Uzumaki. I named him Uzumaki because I didn't want to do his full name, blah blah blah. Bullshit like that. Uzumaki, First Great Shinobi War, gave his brother no Mononoke Sharingans, like I said. Also, his katana that he uses at as a normal basis is the sheath is bright red, and the sword itself is etched with seals, like seals with jutsus in them. Like he stabs in and puts uses one of the seals to do a fireball jutsu, basically chakra that's already been condensed and sealed to do an actual jutsu, like fireball jutsu, slashing wind jutsu, or like water dragon jutsu, any of those. Remember, Naruto's affinities are fire, wind, like Naruto, but and lightning. All three of those. So yeah, he could also, like, let's say he has out of chakra, he stabs someone in the chest, they're not dead. He sometimes when his seals have lightning in there, like a lightning chakra. So basically, like Sasuke, Shidori's his sword and makes him dead. That too. He gave his brother the eyes, blah blah blah. He fought against the first Hokage and the second, and his brother, the second Hokage, basically the second Hokage, not in this world, and fought them. Thousands of people have died. So his brother and his entire clan can group up and get into fighting stance. Also, Uzumaki was the first person to ever do basically what the flying Raijin is. Like seals that you can teleport in. But he didn't have it fully down yet. He had it to the point where he could put a seal on a kunai, where if he chucked it, it traded places with him. Basically, it's like a one seal thing. So he chucks it, and he can, like, let's say he places a kunai down, he can run off in any distance he wants, and he could trade places with the kunai, and but the seal instantly disperses. And it says, if I didn't mention that before, I'm now mentioning it now, and he will be doing that in this, but with a lot better things. Like, almost like what Sasuke does in, like, Boruto and in Naruto Shippuden, where he can, like, trade places with it. Basically that seal, but as just a seal. But, let's get into the video. We go into a very, very white room. Almost pitch white, to the point where he can't, when he enters the room, it's completely black for him. But when he opens his eyes, he can see that he has eyes again. And he figured that he died. He remembers him dying. But what he sees is he sees almost like a young man. Blonde hair, with like these bluish, greenish eyes, like almost like turquoise. Like it's a weird, like one eye is like very green, like grass green, and the other eye is dark. I mean, like sea blue green, like sea blue, like dark sea blue, like very dark. It's creepy. And he stands up and he says, "Come play with me, my fallen soldier." As he grabs his cheek and he says, my son of my son, my creation of my destruction, show me your true strength. As he looks up and he says, who are you? And he says, I am the God who made you the strongest Uchiha with the most strongest eyes. If you don't remember from the last video, Naruto, his abilities are with his Sharingans, and I'm taking out Aramaturasu, but I am putting in he has a massive, he can do a genjutsu that basically encapsulates you into this dark pit of nothingness, like almost like Itachi's infinite Sukuno, but instead of like, oh, I can torture you, it's basically you can't see anything, period. That's it. And basically you're off. Like in real life, you can't see anything, period. Basically like you're blind, but worse. And he's like, and as almost his eyes connect with him, and he says, let me show you. As he shows him his destiny and what he played out. He had 3 roads he could get on. He had the road where his parent, he went with his mother, his first mom, and he had that life of an Uzumaki. Not know, and he might be unlocked his Sharingan before, but not really. He want the one that he had where he just stayed in the orphanage and he got overwhelmed and he came into the war and figured out who his brother was, and Madara figured out who he was, and no emotional contact was made. And the last one, his timeline, where he sacrificed everything for his brother, and his brother loved him for it. So, yeah, that's some deep shit right there. And he says, you are my son. Whoever says you're not, it doesn't matter if you get reborn and your next father says you're his son, you're not. You're my son. As he grabs his hand, he pulls him up, and he says, and the old man's still doing this, and he says, I'm going to call him an old man, but he's not really old. He says, train with me, as he hands him a sword. This is the same sword as, he usually uses, and he says, I'll show you the best way to use everything. As he does, he trains with him for, basically in this dimensional world, where he is God, and he figures out he's the God of creation. He's not the God of creation, but he is the God of dreams. And he basically makes everyone's dreams he ever takes everyone's dreams. But the God of dreams had a dream himself that he wanted a son who had eyes that could do everything. Blackness, anything. And through his training, his eyes did morph into something not better than the immortal Mangekyo. The mortal Mangekyo. That sounds dumb as shit. But his eyes are the immortal Mangekyo instantaneously. But his eyes, through his training, his hard work, grow stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point where almost like his infinite Sukuno is not the infinite Sukuno anymore. It's basically he causes the worst nightmares you can ever feel in your entire life, and you feel all the pain to the max percentage, and no downsides to the opponent if they break through the genjutsu. And instead of like the 3 lines and like the 2, like the lines down to the middle to the sides, and it's like 3 dots, it's 4 lines. like almost like it's not like it's very thick lines too. It's thick lines, almost like when Kurama and Naruto mixed together and they had the thin lines. It's those, but very thick lines and three dots on all sides with the little tomoes, like four tomoes with very like where like almost like a sharp edge to it. And these are his chakra drain. See, like right now, like you can see in his eyes, they're slowly moving. But if he adds one more, they're like quick. They're more fastly moving, almost like. And if you add one more, they get faster and faster. And if you add more, they start just spinning as quick as possible, faster than the eye can see, basically. And with two of his points on each eye, with just one eye, like if each point is at two, he can on both of his eyes, he can basically just keep his Mangekyo Sharingan open for an infinite amount of time if there's an opponent. Like it, or if there's not even just an opponent, if he just keeps his Mangekyo Sharingan open forever, because he can just drain chakra from regular people and the environment, basically. Like if let's say he's in a village, he can keep his Mortal Mangekyo Sharingan open by spreading out his like chakra drain for massive sum and taking chakra from everyone, like even like the people, like from everyone, and then he slowly starts gaining it, and he can keep his Mortal Mangekyo Sharingan open forever. And if he gets 3, he just has more chakra in his system, and he has 4, he basically just gets more chakra where he can do more jutsus. And he learns how to like basically every opening in the world, his strengths, his weaknesses, how to use chakra better, multiple other jutsus like double wind slash, uh, hydra, yeah, literally called Hydra. He calls it Hydra. Off for me, he's called it Hydra because it's a 3-headed dragon. It's a 3-headed fire dragon. He called Lightning Blade, basically same thing as Sasuke's Lightning Blade, uh, and multiple other things, and just how to build swords, how to seal better, and like learning history of like who was like other jutsus and like Hagoromo and all those like and Hagoromo's mom and everything and how the Biju was made and the Biju's history even. So when Uzumaki is ready to leave and his father says one thing, the person you're getting reborn to has any like he's actually wait, before this he touches Uzumaki's stomach and he says, you will have 3, and he points up 2 abilities, but he like looks up on the sky and he smiles a little bit. Yeah, then and he puts up 3 and he says you're gonna have 3 abilities. And he says the Mortal Mangekyo Sharingan will be instantly activated when you have enough chakra to activate it. Also, your chakra from your second life will come in slowly. Like when you're 1 year old, you will have the already baby's chakra and your chakra when you were 1. And yes, you had chakra when you were young. Very rare, but you did. Number 2, you have, and he hands him a blade that looks like it been carved out of like blood and steel, like years of battle. And he says, you have the demon blade of wrath. Flames will come to your engine, and just remember. And he taps the blade as blue flames rifle out of it. He says, it loves you. And he like flips it around his hand because it can deal with you, and he places it into a sheath. Use it carefully. We don't want you to kill random civilians. As he smiles, as he puts it into a sheath, and he says, 3rd ability, and this is ability from Hagoromo himself. you will have the nine-tailed fox. As he, gosh dang, as he kind of bows and he says, yes, yeah. He's like, this is a great honor, and he says, but do I really need? And he says, this is an ability from Hagoromo. Please take it as it will. You'll be ostracized, yes. Your strength will be massive, and take care of the beast. And he looks over and he says, it is time for you to go. And he starts running as he says, boy. And he looks back and he says, your life will be full of drama, even from the start. So just remember, I am Dream. I will come for you if you need me. Advice if necessary. But run, my boy, and kill them all. And he says that in like the darkest tone, and he smiles deeply as the boy, his Monomon-Gekyo Sharingans are completely activated, as like the Tomoe starts spinning as fast as they possibly can, and he smiles with it, and he says, don't worry, my father. The first thing I will is respect. And he says, the first thing I've ever learned was respect as he entered the portal. And as Naruto opens his eyes to a redhead woman staring at her with multiple doctors around her in her bed, as you see multiple doctors around her, and you see this lady with seems like very black hair. You see this other woman with very blonde hair, and you see her, it seems like her mother, with very red hair, almost beautifully red. As you don't see a father, as you say, as like one of the black hair woman says, looks just like Minato. I wish she looked more like you, that bloody villain. And as your mother says, that you learn that her name is Kushina, says, I know he cheated, and I know he made our relationship not possible with his son anymore, but he's still the father. And this boy is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my entire life. As you look over to the blonde chick, as she looks and she sees as 3 other people break through the door, as you see a boy with a covering of his eye, as you see kind of like scars, almost like a eye patch almost, and very black hair. You see him break through the door, as you see another kid, looks more not 14 years old, as he looks more grim, more determined, with a sword on his back, and the kid, it looks like he's been through a lot of pain, and it seems, and one of his eyes are covered by his with his headband, and you see the girl. Pink, almost purple from colorblind, with brown hair. And yes, this is Kakashi's team. They're still alive in this timeline, because you will learn later. But by now, we're ending the video. You will learn from next time. That's probably going to be in like 2 to 3 hours, because I'm going to get bored. But you're going to learn from next time. Please subscribe, like the video, comment down below what some other things you cool, and yes, I'm leaving you in a fucking cliffhanger. Subscribe and have a great day.